Hey y'all, we are on day 77 of our 90 days in the Psalms. I hope you all are ready to finish this thing out strong. If you've fallen off, it's okay. Hop back on for these last 13 days. All right, we have 2 Psalms today, so let's go ahead and get started. Before we start reading, make sure that you have liked this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and then go ahead and comment. I want to hear your revelations. Even if you want to comment about how this journey has been, please share it with me. I want to hear from you. All right, we're going to start with Psalm 132, and I'm reading from the NRSV. O Lord, remember in David's favor all the hardships he endured, how he swore to the Lord and vowed to the Mighty One of Jacob. I will not enter my house or get into bed. I will not give sleep to my eyes or slumber to my eyelids, until I find a place for the Lord, a dwelling place for the Mighty One of Jacob. We heard of it in Ephrathah. We found it in the fields of Jaar. Let us go to his dwelling place. Let us worship at his footstool. Rise up, O Lord, and go to your resting place, you and the ark of your might. Let your priests be clothed with righteousness, and let your faithful shout for joy. For your servant David's sake, do not turn away the face of your anointed one. The Lord swore to David a sure oath, from which he will not turn back. One of the sons of your body I will set on your throne. If your sons keep my covenant and my decrees that I shall teach them, their sons also forevermore shall sit on your throne. For the Lord has chosen Zion. He has desired it for his habitation. This is my resting place forever. Here I will reside, for I have desired it. I will abundantly bless its provisions. I will satisfy its poor with bread. Its priests I will clothe with salvation, and its faithful will shout for joy. There I will cause a horn to sprout up for David. I have prepared a lamp for my anointed one. His enemies I will clothe with disgrace, but on him his crown will gleam. So we are still going with the Songs of Ascents, but this one is a little bit different. It is considered a Psalm of Zion. It is also considered a royal psalm, and it's about the covenants between God and David. So first we have the promise that David made to God that he would build a house for the Lord. Then we have the promise from God to David that his lineage would rule on the throne. And then finally we end with Zion as the place that these promises would come to pass in. So let's start with David's promise to God. He made an oath that he would build the temple, a place for the Ark of the Covenant to rest. He vowed to do it tirelessly, as it describes in verses 3 through 4. The locations here in verse 6, Ephrathah and Jaar, are actually referring to Kiriath Jearim. And this is the place where the ark was sitting before David brought it into Jerusalem. When we go into verses 7 through 9, then, it is the people turning towards God and invoking him. Verse 9 is a reference to both the sacrificial garments that the priest would wear, the sanctified garments that the priest would wear, but also the type of spiritual clothing that we are supposed to put on, that is the spiritual clothing of righteousness, right? Next, then, we have God's promise to David in verses 11 through 12. We can find this promise in 2 Samuel 7, verses 12 through 16, and it's an oath to sustain the house of David. And we know, of course, that promise then extends to Jesus Christ. The last 6 verses of this psalm are dedicated to Zion. It was the place chosen by God to dwell in and to bless. And it's saying here that God will be a provider and rule with justice there, and that he will establish and sustain David as king there. So for my revelation, I want to go to verses 10 and verses 17. Verse 10 says, "For your servant David's sake, do not turn away the face of your anointed one." Verse 17, it says, "I have prepared a lamp for my anointed one. Let's go to the Hebrew here. Anointed one in the Hebrew is actually Mashiach, which is Messiah. All of God's promises in this psalm and in the entire Old Testament were fulfilled through Jesus Christ. That is our joy, that is our peace, and that is our new covenant with God, which we get to reap the benefits of. And it just is a display, like this psalm, of God's love, and it's a display of his promises to us and how he is always faithful to his promise. All right, let's move on ahead to Psalm 133. I'm going to read from the Amplified. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brothers to dwell in unity. It is like the precious oil of consecration poured on the head, coming down on the beard, even the beard of Aaron, coming down upon the edge of his priestly robes, consecrating the whole body. It is like the dew of Mount Hermon, coming down on the hills of Zion, for there the Lord has commanded the blessing, life evermore. So this psalm is accredited to David, and it is a psalm of praise about unity. Because this is a pilgrimage song, it is telling of the community, about everyone coming together, everyone coming to Mount Zion to worship God as one people. And this coming together, this unity, is like the anointing that falls onto everyone. It's like Zion getting a share of the dew that is on the higher Mount Hermon. So in this, it is saying that everyone shares the blessings, right? Both big and small, all of the tribes of Israel, and from high-ranking to low-ranking. It really is a psalm about unity and how unity allows blessings to flow from top to bottom, from side to side, covering everyone who has come together. So my revelation is that this is what God desires for us. Now, we don't live the same as the Israelites did. Everything then was done in community. However, we as Americans live in a very individualistic society. We do things on our own. But it's important that we grasp and that we even implement this solidarity in the church. There are so many benefits, even that we see here in this very short psalm, that we can reap if we come together as one. So brotherhood and sisterhood are important, and there are a lot of things in society, in this American society today, that are preventing this from happening. That is not God's desire. People are not receiving the blessings of God because people are unwilling to come together in unity. We have let pride come before our unity. We have let arrogance come before our unity. We have let so many things come before our unity, and therefore not everyone in the modern day church, especially in America, is able to receive the blessings, right? We see here how the blessings flow down from the top of the head, down the face, down the beard, onto the collar, onto the body. But when we don't come together, we stop the flow of the oil. So my revelation for this is that we need to do some major introspection, both as a society and as individuals. We all need to seek God. There is this literal journeying together to God, this literal coming together, this literal pressing towards God. And it's needed and it's important because it is in that unified press and that unified seek that we begin to see the blessings, that we begin to reap the benefits that God has for us. So let's do this together, y'all. Let's find a way to move this. Let's address the things that are causing us disunity, that are causing discord, and let's get together. This is not just about what is happening in the physical. This is about what is happening in the spiritual, and what the enemy is trying to do is break us up so that the blessings cannot come down. He is trying to split us up so that we lose the strength that we have in unity, and this has been happening for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. So what we need to do now is do that introspection so that we are able to come together in true unity, not fake unity, not, what am I trying to say? Not unity that is just trying to get it over and done with, but actual unity. All right, so there is a lot in this little psalm. I encourage you to go back through these two today. The first one with the Messianic lens, and the second one through a lens of American society and how we can do what they are doing here. So it's important that during this time, that during these psalms, we are grabbing this stuff out so we can get as much as we can out of them. All right, we are done for today. Tomorrow I'll be back with 2 more psalms, so I will see you then. Bye.